NBA YoungBoy got offered $25 million from Atlantic and he turned it down. Funny thing is, it was probably the smartest thing he ever did. And I'm going to tell you why. On Spotify alone, he's got over 20 million monthly listeners. And if you're curious about how much money he actually makes, don't go anywhere. That's what I break down every single day. Welcome to episode 20 of Pocket Watching, the show where I attempt to work out how much musicians make from their music every single month. In NBA YoungBoy, he makes bank. His daily streams work out to 9.6 million, which means his monthly streams are around 290 million on Spotify. If we account for all streaming platforms, that's 636 million. And if we calculate how much the average stream pays out, which is $0.0035, it works out that his gross revenue is around 2.2 million a month. Big boy piece. If you want to work out how much that gross revenue he makes, you have to understand his deal structure. And this is where NBA YoungBoy's story is super interesting. In 2017, when he was in his early 20s, he signed a $2 million deal with Atlantic Records. Now, this was a 5-album deal, and he wasn't very well known, so he just took it. And he didn't know really how big he was going to become. Some of his biggest songs, like Untouchable, were released around that time. And he was probably only making about 10% of his overall revenue because the label owned the masters. So NBA YoungBoy at some point is like, look, I'm making you guys so much money. We need to renegotiate this because I'm not making enough money and I want more ownership. He actually asked for his masters back. And Atlantic said no. That was even after he released 18 projects with them. But, you know, that's just how labels are sometimes. So anyways, after some battles, he managed to get out of that deal and they offered him 25 million to stick around. He said nope. He created his own label, Never Broke Again, and signed with Motown Records. From my understanding, it's a little bit like a joint venture deal or a licensing deal. Either way, it probably works out that he owns his masters and has a larger share of the overall royalties. So if we go back to his numbers, it's likely that overall, including his older records with Atlantic and his new records, he's going to take home around 35% of his overall gross revenue, which would take his monthly revenue to $780,000. If we add his publishing and we add his YouTube views, that would take his total to a whopping $1,146,104.77. NBA YoungBoy, you're a young boy, but you need to be charitable and lend me a tenner. Comment down below the next artist you want me to pocket watch.